For all the ladies who wanted to chew on my hair, I buried it next to the remains of King Tut.
This topic is inspired by what the internet has been abusing me with lately. YouTube, Twitter, just wherever I go, it keeps taking me to this exact article actually from Business Insider. Anthony Fauci reveals what activities he will and won't do now that he's vaccinated. And indoor restaurants are still a no.
No.
So since the internet just keeps wanting me to read this for some reason, I guess we're going to read it.
We should preface this by saying Dr. Fauci's a scumbag. Because not everybody's aware of that little... I mean, a lot of people know, but for those people who don't know...
For most of 2020, the little socializing Anthony Fauci did...
You're like the little socialist.
The little socializing he did involved the neighbors right next door. Fauci has lived in the same neighborhood in Northwest Washington, D.C. for more than 40 years. And the combination of his busy schedule and pandemic safety concerns confined his social life to a small radius. I haven't gotten the day off in a year and 3 months, Fauci told me recently.
This is so interesting. It's so interesting, I could practically fall asleep. Nothing more interesting than a wrinkly, pasty old man in his fake degree.
When Fauci and his wife did gather with neighbors, they took no chances. The household stayed
took no chances and no prisoners.
The household stayed socially distanced and outdoors, even in the fall and winter when the weather got chilly. Okay.
Brr.
Whenever we would get together, we would do it outside, freezing our butts off, wearing a mask, having a dinner, or having a drink outside on my deck, he said.
Dr. Fauci's never been outside. Come on. The one time he went outside was to throw a baseball, and he sucked at it. Don't you get it? He's literally the least interesting, least important person in the world. He's just a pasty old piece of rusty duck meat.
Says he got his first Moderna shot on December 22nd. In the months that followed, others in his age bracket followed suit. Being fully vaccinated, Fauci said, has changed his behavior, but only slightly. The biggest shift is that he and his neighbors have finally moved the party indoors. We feel very comfortable in the house with no masks. And we can have physical contact and things like that, he said.
Didn't he say you still got a mask if you get the vaccine? And you still got a double mask if you get it? Or is that not for him because he's God tier or whatever? He's like, sorry, peasants, you still got a mask up for safety.
Okay,
man, what a
that's just his neighbors, though. He's comfortable wearing masks or not wearing masks around his neighbors now. That's it. Just the people that he's always lived next to for the last 40 years.
Imagine being neighbors with Dr. Fauci and not punching him in the face whenever you see him. Imagine just looking at him and be like, hi, Mr. Fauci. And then not being like, I'll put that mask around my testicles like you told me, doctor. I salute you.
He still won't eat indoors at a restaurant or go to a movie theater. I don't think I would, even if I'm vaccinated.
It's because you shut all those things down, you moron. I don't think I would go to a movie theater. Yeah, I wonder why. Is it because, I don't know, you got them all shut down?
He's not planning on any travel either. Fauci's caution, he said, stems from the interesting crossroads at which the U.S. sits.
What does that mean? Dr. Fauci, you wanna inform us a little bit?
A record number of people are getting vaccinated. 3 million doses are now given daily, on average. But the number of new infections being reported is still trending upward in 18 states. In Michigan, one of the worst hotspots, average daily cases have more than quadrupled in the past month. It's kind of a race between the vaccine and the possibility that there will be another surge, Fauci said. So the more Americans are patient about their return to normal life, he said, the less likely we are to see a fourth case spike.
I like how he thinks like a normal life. What does that mean? Well, it means that you just can't barbecue and you just got a social distance. That's it. It's like, no, you've ended lives, Fauci. How about you give back the lives you've taken away? Oh, wait, you can't.
Here are his neighbors.
Good job. Oh, gosh. He's like, worship me. All hail me. That's what Dr. Fauci probably does.
Please erect this golden statue of me in a humble sort of way. It doesn't help that I was born perfect, but it kind of does. You can't eat your sausages with me anymore because we got a social distance. It's actually Fauci, but nobody wants to say it correctly. Want to use my facial Vaseline? I rub it in my face so when the cameras come on, I look like I'm made of wax. Melted, greasy wax. Allow me to inject this into you.
Would it be funny if it turned out the vaccine was just bleach?
That would be the funniest twist ever.
Donald Trump's like, I never said to inject bleach. And they're like, yeah, well, we're going to do it anyways. Wait, don't. Donald Trump's like, stop. You're going to kill everybody. I'm sorry. And then they're like, he was actually warning us, don't let them. I mean, I don't know. He never even said that, so I don't know.
Fauci is regularly assessing what is safe and unsafe as a vaccinated person.
Dr. Fauci's like,
This is my pet pig. I test my little experiments on him. I put a mask on the pig. If he suffocates to death, it works. We aren't going to have a vaccine that's going to work on cows. If the cows get the Rona, it's back to Idaho. I ate a potato for the first time in the last 18 months since the start of the virus. And frankly, it was beautiful.
Oh, that's too much. In the last week, the average of more than 65,000 new cases have been reported per day, a 14% increase from the country's 7-day average in mid-March. Given all that, Fauci said his day-to-day life remains essentially unchanged from the way it was before he got his shots. Movie theaters where viewers remove their masks to snack on popcorn? Nope. That would still be of concern to me, Fauci said.
whatever. It was like, okay, well, if you put enough popcorn in your mouth where it blocks your breathing, it's fine. Either that or you gotta chew your popcorn through your mask and then spit it back into the cup and snort it up through your nose. What?
Bars and restaurants where maskless people are eating and drinking inside, those are still off the table too. Fauci's behavior aligns with CDC guidelines.
It also aligns with a sociopath.
Which
But we'll ignore that.
Which say that vaccinated Americans should continue to wear a mask in public at all times and avoid medium and large size in-person gatherings. A recent CDC study found that a rural Illinois bar was the site of a super spreader event. At least 46 COVID-19 cases, 1 hospitalization, and a school closure affecting 650 children were linked to the bar's reopening in February.
How many people died?
Probably 0. I'm sure if someone died from it, it would be listed here big time, but it's not, so I don't think anyone died.
I may not be a doctor, but neither is Dr. Fauci, so I guess I can say whatever I want.
Not all experts agree with Fauci and the CDC's level of caution. Dr. Leanna Wen, an emergency physician in Baltimore, previously told Insider that the CDC guidelines for vaccinated people are overly cautious. For individuals who are fully vaccinated, they may well decide to take on risk that other people may not be engaging in. So having policies to allow certain things back, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Still, Fauci said it's important for all Americans, both vaccinated and unvaccinated,
But Fauci said, who cares?
to continue avoiding crowds and socially distancing until we know for sure that vaccinated people don't spread the virus. Growing evidence suggests they don't, but being patient is how we'll keep a lid on cases, Fauci said.
You know what? I can imagine Dr. Fauci like kicking the football while Lucy's holding it for like the 50th time.
Yeah.
Like, come on, I'm not going to pull the football away. Then Dr. Fauci being like, okay. And then he runs over with his hobbly little body. And then he like tries to kick it and he misses and he spins around and lands on his head. And he says, good grief. Dr. Fauci, you blockhead.
Fauci has estimated that the threshold for herd immunity, the point at which enough Americans are either vaccinated or immune to the virus from an infection.
I have a question about that.
Wait,
Like,
stymie.
How do you know when you're immune? Because apparently getting it doesn't make you immune, or at least that's not a good enough excuse.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I've already had it. It's like,
Yeah,
well, that doesn't mean you're immune.
He says we're trying to reach herd immunity, but
Nothing makes you immune.
but if you get it, you still have to like.
It's like, okay, if you have the vaccine, nope, still got to follow all the rules. If you've already had it, still got to follow the rules. It's like, we got to reach herd immunity.
Yeah,
How's that happen?
It's when everybody hails me as their god.
Thanks, Dr. Fauci.
I think I get it. Could be between 70% and 85% of the population.
Dr. Fauci's the type of guy to like spread his butt cheeks when he farts so he doesn't get fart on his butt cheeks. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, do I want to
get
get
it.
these peaches dirty?
We'll pull up an image to describe what Derek means by that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. If we could just hold on for a while, he said, we'll reach a point where the protection of the general community by the vaccine would make it very unlikely that we're going to have another surge. Vaccination rates in the U.S. have doubled every month since February. If that trend continues, the country could reach that threshold as early as June. So for Fauci, nights
But
out on
no
the town
earlier.
can wait until then. See, the CDC says traveling is okay, but Fauci won't do it. The CDC announced that Friday that vaccinated Americans can travel by plane, train, or bus in the U.S. without needing to quarantine or get tested, as long as they wear masks. I was thrilled since the change meant I could finally make a plan to visit my 84-year-old grandmother in Minnesota.
Dr. Fauci is an 84-year-old
No, this is the writer.
Oh, I was like, hey, how old's Dr. Fauci?
I'd been itching to see her for the past 12 months. She's in a senior living home, and it's been hard to hear her sound lonelier and lonelier on our daily phone calls.
Yeah, and I'll just keep
What is
denying.
this?
It's like, but I'm not going to visit her.
I just want to give
Sorry,
a quick reminder.
Grandma.
I just want to give a quick reminder that this article is about what Fauci has been up to since getting
This
vaccinated.
guy started talking about visiting his sad grandma.
Yeah,
Is
come
this probably
on.
his way of coping with the guilt that he hasn't just gone ahead and visited her, and that he just has to sit there, or she probably is like, sorry, Grandma, can't visit you. I might catch COVID. It's like,
And
so he probably
if
doesn't
you
care.
ever need me, just use one of those Hand of God devices.
They aren't even worried about the old ladies getting COVID. They just don't want to catch it from the old lady. Sorry, Grandma, I would visit, but I'm afraid I might catch COVID from you. So what happens when you don't eat your Brussels sprouts?
So I asked Fauci if he too is planning any trips.
I had a nightmare. Dr. Fauci was leaning over my bed and he said,
Okay.
I'm going to give you a little vaccination.
wait, vaccination.
You mean vaccination, Derek?
We're going to give you a pig vaccine.
So I asked
Pigs.
Fauci if he too is planning any trips in the hopes that he might share my
I'm
excitement.
only going to go and get myself dewormed.
No such luck.
No such luck.
I don't see that in my life, Fauci said. When this is all over, then I'll worry about that. He did say, though, that part of the reason he's changed his behavior only very, very, very slightly in the past few months is that he still doesn't have time to relax or recreate. His sporadic indoor meetups with a few friends and family members are all he can fit in. To be honest with you, I don't really have time to do anything else, he said. So in part, Fauci's cautious approach is a product of a very lopsided work-life balance. I'm a very unusual person, Fauci said.
He's like, I'm so weird, right? That's like what, like,
That's the end.
That's what,
That's
like,
the end.
That's what, like, 15-year-old girls say. They're like, I don't know. I'm just a really weird person, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you aren't.
Okay, so
weird.
after reading that, remember, the title to this article was Anthony Fauci reveals which activities he will and won't do now that he's vaccinated. And it basically, the whole article can just be summed up with, he doesn't plan on traveling and going inside restaurants, bars, and movie theaters. That's it. Until everyone's vaccinated and until everything blows over. There, I just read the whole article.
But
right
remember,
there.
he's just so weird.
The interruption about the guy who wrote this, the only reason I'm criticizing this article is because it was like advertised to me so heavily. So Derek, what did we learn?
I learned a hell of a ton. Dr. Fauci is such a cool guy. I hope one day I meet him and I get to give him a big squeeze.
Me too.
He's so cool, man. He's just so cool. He's so weird. Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci!
That last line, though, is just stupid.
I'm just a weird person.
I'm just a weird person. What
He
a
said,
dorcas.
I'm a very unusual person. All he said was that he works a lot. Like, he just doesn't have time. He's too busy. How is that unusual?
I'm busy.
I could name, like, more than half of the people I know are, like, just generally very busy because, people have lives.
He would be like, all the people I know after this pandemic started, they don't seem very busy. It's probably because they don't have jobs. To summarize, Dr. Fauci is a fraud. Leave a dislike.